So, solar. Giving yourself control. Main reason people go solar is to give themselves that degree of control and predictability over their bill. So a little bit about myself. I have 4 cats, Tucker, Shadow, Finn, and Blue. In the middle you see a picture of me with my mom and my sister. I graduated from Millersville University in 2017 with a degree in finance. And on the right you can see my family at Christmas. So going solar is a privilege. The main thing that people that can get held up on the back end is transformer capacity. It's a first come first serve type thing where as more people go solar in an area, the transformers that are up on the poles can only handle so much, and if once they're full, the power company needs to upgrade them for anyone else to go solar, and they will kick it back and try to make the customer pay for it if possible. Also, you need to have a utility bill that we're going to go over, so make sure we have that available. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to go solar if you're paying very, very little for your electricity already. Obviously, you need sun exposure because, it makes sense. And your roof needs to be in good condition. Your house also needs to have a 100 amp breaker panel, which most houses these days should. You need to be the homeowner, and you need to be able to pass a credit check of over 650. This is just a soft credit check. It won't even tell me a number. It just says pass fail. Is there any reason this would be a problem for you? Nope. So what is it? Pennsylvania Act 213. This is the reason why the power companies are willing and able to help us go solar. This is the government mandate that requires the utilities to get to that certain percentage of clean energy, and the reason that they're getting the fines if they're not meeting these benchmarks. And so that is why the power companies are willing to help us on converting homes to solar. The standard was 18% by 2021. We missed that. The long-term goal is 80% by 2050. We're not really on track to hit that, possibly at the current rate. So, although it does seem to be a long-term plan, these are just government programs, and you never know, if a new senator comes in and just decides, nope, we're cutting this out, and the programs no longer exist. Again, that's a first-come, first-served potential thing, where if the legislation changes, this program might go away. Here are the renewable goals for every state in the country. As you can see in the Northeast, ours is at 18%. New York's optimistic. They want to hit 100% by 2040. So good luck with that. Down south, there's not a mandate down there, but at the same time, down there it also just makes sense to go solar because they just get so much more sunlight. So, why people choose to go solar? Their first option is to save money, lower energy cost. To be completely transparent, the first year savings, everything like that, it's not going to be very much. It's not going to send you on vacation. It's possibly not even going to help you with groceries for that month. But it does help increase your property's market value. Study done by Zillow in five of the surrounding states by us has shown 4 to 8% roughly increase in the value of a home that has solar attached. Another reason is clean energy, reduced carbon emissions. This is more of a cherry on top kind of thing. It's almost nobody ever actually goes solar for this reason. It's just a side effect that you can say is a nice thing. The biggest thing is that predictability and control. You want to have the ability to know what you're going to be paying for your electric costs year over year, as opposed to whatever PPL is currently doing. I mean, could you hazard even what a guess and PPL or PECO might even be at in 6 months? Who knows? Over the last year, PPL has gone up 95%. Now, this has gone down just a little bit recently, but on average, it's still way up. Going on to the bill. So PPL is showing at 11 cents per kilowatt on the supply side. In order to see what you're actually paying per kilowatt, you also need to add on this 4.71 cents per kilowatt on the delivery side. So supply is just what it costs for them to buy the energy. This additional 4 cents is what it costs them to actually ship the energy to your house. So when you add those together, you're looking at about 15 cents per kilowatt is what you're paying. Now, you see there's this customer charge as well on the delivery. This is the amount that you're paying. Basically, it's your subscription fee to be attached to the wipes. Regardless of whether or not we can go solar, if you go solar, if you don't go solar, nothing changes, that you still have to pay this. But I'll get into how you may be able to offset this in a few slides. Down here, you'll see the Act 129 compliance rider. This is how we are being paid to actually put your home to solar at no cost. It's no cost to you because everyone involved in power companies anywhere is paying, about a quarter per month on their bill into this fund. And that is, if you take that quarter and multiply it by the number of customers times, 12 months in a year times the 15 or so years this act has been in place, you get just from PPL, you're looking at $64-ish million, demonstrated on the calculator, boosted it. That is where the money is. That is why this is no cost. That's the, there's the gotcha. Why is it free? It's not free. It's being paid for. And then down below, you see this smart meter rider. That is about 8 years ago. The companies came around and replaced everyone's meters with the digital meters. This is one so they could monitor it remotely, which they're not always great at. But more importantly, it is a solar compatible meter, which means it no longer just spins in one direction. It can spin in both directions as the panels are putting electricity back into the grid. Back over to the presentation. So, where are we at in the country? So if you look at this slide, obviously Hawaii, California, and Alaska are just weird outliers. You notice any other similarities between the states on this list? Yep, they're northeastern. Yeah, so if you look through the northeastern states, we're currently sitting right near the bottom of what people are paying in terms of their kilowatt rates. So you notice everyone around us is creeping up over that 20 cent per kilowatt mark. And, if it rains and pours, everyone follows the tide. They're going up, we're going up. We just haven't caught up to them quite yet, so we're kind of lucky at the moment. But if everyone else is going up, we're going to get there soon. So why are the rates going up so much? Well, say way too much in this, I know. One of the big reasons is this RGGI, the Regional Greenhouse Gas Emissions. It is not even fully passed and active in legislation. It was just set forth and still pending. And as a result, we've already closed 12 of our 32 coal plants in the state of Pennsylvania. So we are not producing nearly as much energy as we used to. Even if we weren't closing down all this stuff, we've already got all the easy gas and oil and coal. Anything we're going further is we have actually started needing to develop new technologies to even reach some of the veins of coal and oil and whatnot. So that costs. There's research costs involved there, and guess who gets to pay that? The customers. In PPL territory, they got hit, they are going through with a $900 million pole line repair program. Similarly, they need to upgrade their infrastructure. They're not going to pay for it. Someone's paying for it, right? And another big reason in PA, 3 Mile Island shut down. So we are we're just not producing nearly as much as we used to, while our usage continues to increase. So basic economics, supply is going down, demand is going up, prices are going to be increasing. So what is net metering? So basically, the sun is in the sky, panels are on your roof. The panels collect the sun's energy in DC form, send it down to the side of your house to a box that we also install called a inverter. That converts the DC power to AC power, which is what you will be using in your home. Any additional energy that it's producing, it's pushing back onto the grid and spinning your meter backwards. Now in PA, we have a 1-to-1 net metering program, which means for every 1 kilowatt you send back out onto the grid, the power company is required to store that 1 kilowatt and send it back to you at a later time when you may need it at no cost. So an example is in the summer, your system's producing 1,300 kilowatts and you're using 1,000. So you bank 300 kilowatts for a rainy day, basically. And then come the winter, which is the rainy day, your system's only producing 700 kilowatts. However, you're still using that same 1,000. But because you have that 300 in the bank, you're now withdrawing that 300 and netting zero, and you're not paying the power company at all for what you're doing there. So here's a picture of someone's bill where in that last month, they used 1,574 kilowatts. They generated 1,443. So they did still need an additional 131 kilowatts for that month. And if they have if we were installing in the winter and they were not to have a bank, they would be paying the power companies for that. But since they have a bank of the 854, the power companies just deducted that 131 from their previously banked balance, so they only they're reduced to 723 in their bank, but they're paying on 0 kilowatts this month. Then once per fiscal year at the end of May in PPL, they reset this bank to 0, and this is where you can offset that customer charge that you will always be paying forever and ever, no matter what, because you're still connected to their line. So at the end of the year, their fiscal year, they cut a check, resetting your balance to 0. So any remaining balance you have at the end of that period, they have to reimburse you for it at their current rate, which means as their rate goes up, the amount you can get back from the same amount of power is also going to go up, and that can offset potential future increases in the customer charge as well. What was I going to say? I just had something in my mind. Yeah, I don't know. So the panels. Our panels are super, super lightweight. They're fairly comparable to if I were to lay out a whole bunch of these iPads out on your roof. It's about that same weight. So the most stress your roof is ever going to have in terms of extra weight is the day of install when people are walking up there to get it on. The panels also are going to be taking the brunt of the elements that weather and damage your roof. The sun is the primary sun is the primary reason that your roof ages. In the case of a north-south home, the north side gets a lot less sun than the south side, so the south side actually ages significantly faster than the north side. Having the panels there, though, means that they're taking that sunlight and converting it to energy, which means it's not hitting your roof. This means that your roof will, on average, last about 8 to 10 years longer, and especially in a north-south home, even out the aging of your roof to make it much more consistent. An additional side benefit is because those panels are off there at a slight offset and creating another layer of insulation, they actually reduce the amount of sun hitting your roof, which in turn means that your attic space is getting a lot less energy put into it. So it'll be a few degrees cooler, and that actually can help save you on cooling costs in the middle of the summer as well. So the number one reason people are going solar is this predictability. So on average, the year-to-year increase in PPL is 6 to 8%. Obviously, we've seen some crazy shifts here and there in recent years. But in general, even like the gas prices, you go way up, you go way down, you go way up, you go way down. But over the course of time, it's always going up. They're never coming back down to that same previous amount. So even if they go way up and then they come way down, that way down is still just a little bit higher than it was before they went way up. So hopping onto the solar line, we drop down. In most areas, we're able to start at a slightly lower rate, although with third-party suppliers, that's not always true. So you start at a slightly lower rate, and then we have in our contract, we increase at 2.9% once per year, which means if you set it all up in a spreadsheet and a chart, mathematically you will be able to know, once I have all the numbers, what you will be paying today, what you'll be paying in 5 years, what you'll be paying in 10 years. Heck, you want to know what you're paying in 24 years' time? You can calculate that. And that is why people are really interested in doing the solar, because having the ability to know in 20 years I'm paying this much for my energy, as opposed to, okay, what do you think the power company might be at in 20 years? Who the heck knows? Well, 20 years ago, it was super cheap. So it's crazy, the fact that you have no clue about something you have to buy. So what's your bill's going to look like? Your old electric bill is this full amount. So it'll be changing. You will have two bills. You will have the new electric bill, which is that customer charge that we can't get rid of, as well as any additional amount of power you still needed to purchase from that company, charged at their rate. So that will still increase with their rates. However, we will be significantly reducing the amount of that multiplying number that they're going with, right? So if you're using 1,000 right now and we only get 50% offset, you're still only going to be paying on that 500 as opposed to the full 1,000. And then you'll have the bill for the solar payment, which again is that super predictable 2.9% per year amount. In total, these two bills will be lower than what you're currently paying, even if only by a small amount right now. Again, this is the long-term track. 10 years down the line, if they're going up 6 to 8% every year, we're only going up that 2.9%. That's when you're starting to see the savings. Okay, so who covers maintenance? We do. We have a 25-year full system coverage with system monitoring, system diagnostics, corrective maintenance, repairs, replacements, and an energy guarantee. If anything goes wrong with your system, lightning strike, hail, tree falls on it, neighbor's kid hits a baseball into it, we are the insurable parties. We are the insurable party. You pay nothing. We come out. We fix it. The energy guarantee, when I come back with the outline of the contract, that which I'll also show you here in a couple slides, an example of that, it will have a number on it that says that is the guaranteed number we say that the system will produce. In the event, for whatever reason, it does not produce that amount in a year, we are responsible to cut you a check for the difference. On top of that, we also have this, it's like double coverage, this roof penetration warranty. It's more akin to a workmanship warranty, where for the first 10 years, you're not likely to need it for the full 10 years, but it's within the first few months is when it'll usually pop up. If we say just get a regular rainstorm and water gets in, we're responsible for that. And we're not only responsible for the panels and the roof, if our insulation or our panels getting ripped up in a crazy windstorm causes damage to the interior of your house, we are also liable for that. We will come out and replace all the outside stuff and cut you a check for replacing all the interior stuff. So, frequently asked questions. What if I move? It's a super simple process. We get just a couple things of paperwork. You sign it. They sign it. Congratulations. It's under the new homeowner's name now. The system is custom built to the house. It stays with the house. You will not be paying for it if you are not living in the house. What if there's damage? It goes back to that 25-year full warranty. We're responsible for it. We come out, we fix it as quickly as we can. Will the system work in bad weather? Yes, it will. Much like you've possibly gone out on a cloudy day in the summer and still come in with a small sunburn. It's that same energy we're capturing. It will produce less, of course, but it is still producing. And that also comes into that energy guarantee. Even if we have an incredibly cloudy summer, for whatever reason, if your system ends up not producing the amount outlined in our agreement, we compensate you for the difference. What if there's a power outage? This does not act as a backup or generator. Since it has the capacity to put power back out onto the grid, it has an automatic shutoff when the grid goes down so that the companies can go out and repair it without any risk to them. And then once the maintenance has been done and the power comes back on, the system will automatically turn back on as well. What happens after the term? So, 25 years has gone by. Now, there's 3 options. You can have us come out and remove it at no cost. Don't know why you would, but you could. You can also extend the warranty in 5-year increments up to 35 years. The panels are rated for 35 to 40-year lifetimes. This would just be the way of continuing that full coverage that we have for an additional 10 years, basically more or less for the entire life expectancy of the system. Third option, you just let it ride. Your payment's done. You no longer have our bills coming to you. You're just paying any additional you may still need to pay to the power companies, or just receiving the check back from the power companies, depending on where we're at. Also, it's 25 years down the line. At the rate solar is increasing in the country at this current rate, odds are there's going to be some amount of demand for solar repair as a almost mechanic type thing, where there's going to be 2 or 3 in every town that people are going to be calling on. So who knows? It's kind of just see what's available at the time and figure it out then. So why choose Trinity? We are the nation's largest privately held residential solar company. We are number 1 in installs in Pennsylvania, number 2 in the country. We just passed over 100,000 custom installations. With that comes experience and knowledge. We've been locally owned and operated for now breaking over the 30-year mark. We are based, our headquarters is in Wall, New Jersey. We have a Reading location where we have 17 installation and maintenance crews coming out of there. So we are just up the street. Our panels are produced in Georgia, South Korean made company, but produced in the United States. This means that we can respond quickly. We are not a company based out of some other country or down south with satellite installers or anything like that. We have W-2 employees who work in Reading whose entire job is to be available to come out to fix any problems that might be a thing. We are a faith-based company, if you couldn't tell by Trinity as a name. We do like to support local charities and nonprofits. Our motto is our energy with integrity and GPM, God, people, money. God comes before all. We want to help our people after that. If we help our people, then we believe that's where the money will come. Google reviews of our Reading location are at 4.8 stars. No company is perfect, but we also, Google reviews at 4.8 stars, and we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau for now going on 30 years. No company is perfect. This is a construction project. Problems can occur. Problems do occur. We want to be on top of that. We want to get anything that can go wrong solved as quickly and as agreeably as possible, because that reflects on us. And we want our customers to feel completely happy with their experience, because if they're not happy with their experience, they're going to go on and tell everyone about it, and we're not going to be successful if everyone thinks we're bad. So we want to make sure we do everything right by the customer. In saying that, we don't really have an advertising budget. You don't see us on TV. You don't see us on billboards. We advertise by word of mouth. What does this mean for you? Potential side gig. So, if you refer someone to us, your first referral is going to be $1,000. If you refer a second person, it's going to be $2,000. Everyone after that, it's another $2,000. This is an uncapped amount. So you could go around to just tell all your friends about this. 3 or 4 people get installed. There's a fair bit of money coming your way as soon as the glass hits their roof. If you want to go on vacation, you tell me where you want to go, and I'll tell you how many referrals you need to get there. Here are just a few examples of our systems on houses. As you can see, we do pride ourselves in the appearance. We have this sleek black panels. Low profile. We're gone are the days of the blue paneling with the cross hatches and exposed wiring all over the place. If there is the ability to put all of the wiring into your attic, it will be hidden in your attic. Obviously, if you have a finished space up there, we're not going to put wires through your finished space. So we will run conduits as efficiently across your roof as possible to make it look as neat as possible. Because again, we're reliant on word of mouth as our way of growing. If we can make you happy, that's going to help us a lot more. You might have a question of what happens in the snow. Well, here's a great picture of 2 houses side by side. One with, glass solar panels that are very slippery and the snow slides right off of them, compared to your normal shingle roof, which, if you've ever felt shingles, is basically just a giant sheet of sandpaper. The snow sits around for a long time. Here's that example of the the design layout, the document that we'll be coming back with next week, or whenever we schedule the appointment. As you see, it shows the annual usage of your house, the system details, the size of the system, the number of panels, where the panels are going, and the estimated production. That estimated production number, that is our energy guarantee number. If for any reason your system produces less than that number, that is the difference we must compensate you for, as outlined in our agreement. In this case, this house had 59% offset. They still went through with it. They believe that being able to control roughly 60% of their bill is better than having no control over any part of their bill. And then down on the right, most people aren't super concerned about this, but it does go over the environmental benefits from it. It's always crazy to think 116 tons of CO2. That's a lot of gas. So what to expect? Today, we're just doing the quick survey. After this presentation, I just need to get some pictures and get some information down. And then a few days out next week, whatever works for our schedules, we'll have the design appointment. That is when I'll come back with that design document, and we'll start doing the signatures to begin the process of applying for permits, getting the power companies involved, basically moving getting the ball rolling and moving on slowly. About 2 to 3 months after that we'll have all the permits done, and the power companies will have come back and told us yes or no. If yes, great, we can schedule installation. Installation usually takes between 1 and 5 days. Most houses are 2 to 3, depending on system size. Once you're fully installed, we schedule the inspection from the power company. They usually take about a month to come out. Once they've inspected it, make sure everything's good, then you have the permission to operate. That is when your system turns on. That is when you start benefiting. You do not receive any bill from us whatsoever until you're turned on completely. And even then, it's prorated based on how long you're on before the first bill. So your first bill may even be extra low because when the install happened versus when your payment goes in, right? Roofing stuff that I'm not going to cover because I am not focused on that right now. Well, hopefully that's good enough. How do I turn this off?